Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Virtue is the adherence and action to the nature of things, and the nature of things makes it prevalent. Please continue watching for the insightful writings of American philosopher Ralph Waldo Emerson, vegetarian.
Vegan, because we don't condone murder.
Happy Vegan New Year, gracious viewers. I'm Janet. The upright people of the Virgin Islands pray for loving kindness to prevail on our globe to herald in the vegan world soon through God's benevolent grace. Welcome to Be Rather Than Appear to Be, excerpt from the essay Spiritual Laws by Ralph Waldo Emerson, vegetarian, on Words of Wisdom. Ralph Waldo Emerson was a renowned 19th century American essayist, philosopher, lecturer, poet, and a leader of the transcendental philosophical movement. His literature influenced many celebrated writers, including Henry David Thoreau and Walt Whitman. Emerson is most famous for his essays, through which he expresses ideas of freedom, spirituality, individuality, the great ability of humans to have profound realizations, and the relationship between the soul and the surrounding world. Ralph Waldo Emerson traveled widely giving lectures and became well known for his publications, Essays, and Nature. Today we will read a selection from Ralph Waldo Emerson's essays, first series, Essay 4, entitled Spiritual Laws, in which the philosopher talks about the virtues of humankind with an in-depth description on mannerisms, nature, and our belief in God. Spiritual Laws. Over all things that are agreeable to his nature and genius, the man has the highest right. Everywhere he may take what belongs to his spiritual estate, nor can he take anything else, though all the doors were open, nor can all the force of men hinder him from taking so much. It is vain to attempt to keep a secret from one who has a right to know it. It will tell itself. That mood into which a friend can bring us is his dominion over us. To the thoughts of that state of mind he has a right. All the secrets of that state of mind he can compel. No man can learn what he has not preparation for learning, however near to his eyes is the object. A chemist may tell his most precious secrets to a carpenter, and he shall be never the wiser. The secrets he would not utter to a chemist for an estate. God screens us evermore from premature ideas. Our eyes are holden that we cannot see things that stare us in the face, until the hour arrives when the mind is ripened. Then we behold them, and the time when we saw them not is like a dream. He may see what he maketh. Our dreams are the sequel of our waking knowledge. The visions of the night bear some proportion to the visions of the day. Hideous dreams are exaggerations of the sins of the day. We see our evil affections embodied in bad physiognomies. As in dreams, so in the scarcely less fluid events of the world, every man sees himself in colossal, without knowing that it is himself. The good, compared to the evil which he sees, is as his own good to his own evil. Every quality of his mind is magnified in some one acquaintance, and every emotion of his heart in someone. He cleaves to one person and avoids another, according to their likeness or unlikeness to himself, truly seeking himself in his associates, and moreover in his trade and habits and gestures, and comes at last to be faithfully represented by every view you take of his circumstances. He shall have his own society. We can love nothing but nature. The most wonderful talents, the most meritorious exertions, really avail very little with us, but nearness or likeness of nature, How beautiful is the ease of its victory. We foolishly think in our days of sin that we must court friends by compliance to the customs of society, to its dress, its breeding, and its estimates. But only that soul can be my friend which I encounter on the line of my own march, that soul to which I do not decline, and which does not decline to me, but, native of the same celestial latitude, repeats in its own all my experience. Let him be great, and love shall follow him. Nothing is more deeply punished than the neglect of the affinities by which alone society should be formed, and the insane levity of choosing associates by others' eyes. He may set his own rate. It is a maxim worthy of all acceptation, that a man may have that allowance he takes. Take the place and attitude which belong to you, and all men acquiesce. The world must be just. It leaves every man with profound unconcern to set his own rate. Hero or driveler, it meddles not in the matter. It will certainly accept your own measure of your doing and being, whether you sneak about and deny your own name, or whether you see your work produced to the concave sphere of the heavens, one with the revolution of the stars. Human character evermore publishes itself. The most fugitive deed and word, the mere air of doing a thing, the intimated purpose, expresses character. If you act, you show character. If you sit still, if you sleep, you show it. You think because you have spoken nothing when others spoke, and have given no opinion on the times, on the church, on slavery, on marriage, on socialism, on secret societies, on the college, on parties and persons, that your verdict is still expected with curiosity as a reserved wisdom. Far otherwise, your silence answers very loud. You have no oracle to utter, and your fellow men have learned that you cannot help them, for oracles speak. Doth not wisdom cry, and understanding put forth her voice? Dreadful limits are set in nature to the powers of dissimulation. Truth tyrannizes over the unwilling members of the body. Faces never lie, it is said. No man need be deceived who will study the changes of expression. When a man speaks the truth in the spirit of truth, his eye is as clear as the heavens. When he has base ends and speaks falsely, the eye is muddy and sometimes asquint. I have heard an experienced counselor say that he never feared the effect upon a jury of a lawyer who does not believe in his heart that his client ought to have a verdict. If he does not believe it, his unbelief will appear to the jury, despite all his protestations, and will become their unbelief. This is that law whereby a work of art, of whatever kind, sets us in the same state of mind wherein the artist was when he made it. That which we do not believe, we cannot adequately say, though we may repeat the words ever so often. It was this conviction when Swedenborg expressed when he described a group of persons in the spiritual world endeavoring in vain to articulate a proposition which they did not believe, but they could not, though they twisted and folded their lips even to indignation. A man passes for that he is worth. Very idle is all curiosity concerning other people's estimate of us, and all fear of remaining unknown is not less so. If a man knows that he can do anything, that he can do it better than anyone else, he has a pledge of the acknowledgement of that fact by all persons. The world is full of judgment days, and into every assembly that a man enters, in every action he attempts, he is gauged and stamped. Pretension may sit still, but cannot act. Pretension never feigned an act of real greatness. Pretension never wrote an Iliad, nor drove back Xerxes, nor Christianized the world, nor abolished slavery. As much virtue as there is, so much appears. As much goodness as there is, so much reverence it commands. All the devils respect virtue. The high, the generous, the self-devoted sect will always instruct and command mankind. Never was a sincere word utterly lost. Never a magnanimity fell to the ground, but there is some heart to greet and accept it unexpectedly. A man passes for that he is worth. What he is engraves itself on his face, on his form, on his fortunes, in letters of light. Concealment avails him nothing, boasting nothing. There is confession in the glances of our eyes, in our smiles, in salutations, and the grasp of hands. His sin bedaubs him, mars all his good impression. Men know not why they do not trust him, but they do not trust him. His vice glasses his eye, cuts lines of mean expression in his cheek, pinches the nose, sets the mark of the beast on the back of the head, and writes, "O fool, fool," on the forehead of a king. If you had not been known to do anything, never do it. A man may play the fool in the drifts of a desert, but every grain of sand shall seem to see. Confucius exclaimed, "How can a man be concealed? How can a man be concealed?" On the other hand, the hero fears not that if he withholds the avowal of a just and brave act, it will go unwitnessed and unloved. One knows it himself and is pledged by it to sweetness of peace and to nobleness of aim, which will prove in the end a better proclamation of it than the relating of the incident. Virtue is the adherence in action to the nature of things, and the nature of things makes it prevalent. It consists in a perpetual substitution of being for seeming, and with sublime propriety God is described as saying, "I am." The lesson which these observations convey is be and not seem. Let us acquiesce. Let us take our bloated nothingness out of the path of the divine circuits. Let us unlearn our wisdom of the world. Let us lie low in the Lord's power and learn that truth alone makes rich and great.
Man's receiving nourishment from vegetation is good and very appropriate, whereas eating meat is quite the opposite. It brings out hot, boiling, red blood. It inclines one to cruelty, anger, and overcoming another with malice, and making one rancid. Harav Don Isaac Ben Judah Abravanel.
Jubilant viewers, it was wonderful of you to join us for today's Words of Wisdom show entitled Be Rather Than Appear to Be, excerpt from the essay Spiritual Laws by Ralph Waldo Emerson, vegetarian. Coming up next is Songs, Compositions, and Poetry of Supreme Master Ching Hai, Part 3 of a multi-part series, right after noteworthy news. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television for more uplifting programming. May divine light brighten your lives forever in God's immense blessings.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/WOW.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule et suprememastertv.com/WOW.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule y suprememastertv.com/WOW.
Chương trình của chúng tôi cung ứng nhiều ngôn ngữ, xin xem suprememastertv.com/schedule và suprememastertv.com/WOW.